Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. Decided to do a different video today, a little bit on a sensitive topic. I know, potentially getting laid off from work. It sucks. It really sucks. And trust me, I know how you feel. I've been there. This happened to me, actually, now that I think about it, it's actually happened twice in my life, where one happened about a year ago, the other one happened several years ago. And how do you bounce back? How do you reassess? How do you find a job? In the last instance, I actually was able to get a brand new job 3 days later. Funny enough, for the exact same amount of money I was making, and actually was a much better, fit and everything like that. But I'm going to talk a little bit about how that happened, and also just wanted to give you some tips. So if this is your first time to the channel, first time to this whole series, this is something I like to do usually in the mornings, which is why I always have coffee. It's a great way for me to just kind of like think about and give some good content. If people enjoy it, great. And as payment, if you guys can like and subscribe, that would be awesome. And also leave a comment. I try to read all of them and respond to all of them I can. Or if you feel more confident, you can send me an email. Happy to help in any way, shape, or form. But today we're going to talk a few things on how to position yourself correctly in the job market in case this happens. Okay? And right now in a lot of industries, this is happening all over the time. I know friends that I feel like it's almost at least like once or twice a month I have a new friend in my network tell me that this has happened in their company or the industry or their team, and they're looking for a little bit of guidance. So today I'm going to give you 7 tips and recommendations on how to position yourselves if this happens to you. I'm also going to walk you through what I did, some specific steps to get you, these results are not that likely, but if you hear this, I think it might be able to help you and give you some ideas on what to do in your circumstance if this happens. If you're not laid off, you should probably still listen to this because it can happen. There's no job security is not what it used to be. Okay, there's a lot of companies right now, and especially with technology and automation, that are getting like big data makeovers or automation makeovers in a lot of industries, and they're able to outsource it or automate it or cut costs or cut a lot of different things. So you always want to be prepared. I'm not saying you want to focus and be living in this dread and all that stuff, but you want to be prepared. You want to have a plan B. You want to be on your toes. Keep focusing on doing the best job you can wherever you are, but be aware if this happens, what can I do? What are some steps that I can do, some ideas that I can take with me? Okay, so it might be a little longer of a video today, but I think this is really key. And because I've been through it, I know it's a sensitive topic, and I wanted to really help a few people. Okay, so let's talk about this. And also, this is really important because it does take on average 3 to 6 months to find a new job. And if you are in this spot, you're actually at a major disadvantage negotiation-wise. Number one, you have to start from scratch. And number two, you're at a disadvantage compared to other people who have a better leverage in their ability to negotiate an offer. So this is why it's really important to position yourself correctly to give you the highest probability of success. Okay? So let's talk about, oh, by the way, I'm going to also have some 2 bonus tips at the end. Thought I would do that, thought I'd throw it in. So we're going to talk about 7 tips. We're talking about kind of like what I did, and then we're going to have a few more bonus tips at the end there. Okay? By the way, if you want some free resources, some free resume templates, definitely check it in the description below. Check out our website as well with a bunch of free resources and things that I've been working on that you can only find there. And I love your feedback. I just kind of created it, so I wanted to hear how everybody thinks about it. As you know, it is the morning. Got my coffee. And by the way, I just got back from New Orleans for my own bachelor party. It was a lot of fun. We rented out like a whole building, which is pretty crazy. Did a jazz cruise. It was awesome. I loved it. Special shout out to my friends if they're watching. It was really enjoyed you guys. So let's talk about the first tip. First tip that I would really recommend that you kind of consider and just assess if you have this already. Number one, a strong network. A strong network, not a surface level network, which happens with a lot of people like, oh, I know 500 people. Really, would they want to work with you? Can they give you a great recommendation? Would they be like, if you're on the job market, oh yeah, they want you sitting next to them and they can know that you're like the best person for the business that they're in. Okay, that's kind of a strong network. And you don't need 500 people. You really want around, I would say, 30 to 50 key people that are half in your industry. They're in a variety of different companies, different positions, great companies that way. This is your professional network. And the other half are also professionals in a whole host of stuff. Maybe, kind of just random industries that are really, really cool. Now, the strong network are people that you identify with, you've built a connection with, you're kind of helping each other and keeping each other accountable as your careers progress, and you're on great friendly terms. I'm looking at an email right now. Ryan, from Ryan Price, the guy who, oh my God, I'm sorry, buddy, I'm getting your name, the League of Sales Engineers, his channel. He's a great network. We reached out, we connected. We reached out through email originally. We got on a Zoom call. If you've seen the video, we did a video together. And I'm sure that, I consider him a good friend. And, you never know where those connections will lead in the future. So to me, that's a great example of a strong network. He's in sales engineering. He's doing great. I'm kind of in the tech sales / cybersecurity and hiring area. So, those are great people and great references to know. And just build that camaraderie, build that connection. You want to have a strong network. So start looking, do I have 30 or 50 people in a multitude of different industries that I really can, connect with, and that would also recommend me? Are there people that, they've worked with me, they've seen your work ethic, they've seen your company culture status, they've seen you do certain accomplishments. So some brainstorming there. First one, strong network. Second thing, you want in-demand skills. There's a lot of skills that 3 years ago have become almost obsolete. So this is a great opportunity where you do a little bit of a skill set assessment. You do a little bit of a skill set audit. Make a sheet, and I want you to write down your soft skills and your hard skills. Soft skills, right? Negotiation, sales, communication, organization skills, operations. Hard skills, whatever it is that's more specific to the job you're doing, tools, certain softwares you use, hard skills that are, very, very important. If you're in cybersecurity, risk management framework, for example, if you're in tech sales, do you have the ability to use like CRMs or B2B versus B2C? Like little things like that, you want to make sure you assess and make sure it's relevant. And then you want to also look at skills that are going to be coming down the track within the next year, okay? Number 3, having a strong resume. This is resume revamp time. You want a strong resume. I know there's a lot of resumes right now through AI. I've seen them, and trust me, other recruiters have seen the exact same thing 500 freaking times now, okay? It's very easy to spot once you kind of see enough of them. And if you're like me where I see 200 resumes a day for various things, it's a very easy indicator when you're using AI or using certain templates. Now, having prefaced that, you want to make sure you have a great template that's going to be eye-catching, that stands out. And so, by the way, and yeah, you can use the free templates that I have with the resources. Use those. But you want to make sure you have a strong resume that's going to stand out from the crowd. And the whole point of it is really just the foot in the door and to get attention with the recruiter or hiring manager, okay? Number 4, know your area, okay? Right now, a current trend, a lot of people during COVID went remote, okay? A lot of companies are now going the opposite way, or they're doing a hybrid program, okay? Great way to do this is know your area. What is going on in your local area? What are the biggest companies? What are the up-and-coming companies? What are the event careers going on? What are the business meetups kind of going on? Know your area. Have that, it's okay to do Zoom once in a while. I use Zoom all the time because of where I am. But I would say 80-20. 80%, try to look at your local area and know what's going on. And you have a much higher probability of finding a job in your local market, by the way. Okay? Just saying. Everyone keeps trying to find remote. You want to be working both, but 80% look at your local area if you need to get hired right away. If you have a little bit more bandwidth, hey, I could kind of look for the next 6 months, sure. And you want to do remote, then focus on that. But I'm just saying, know your area. Number 5, stay positive. I know that's easier said than done. When this happens, like me, take a breath. Like, if that really happens, and this is exactly what I did, I went for a walk in the park. I went for a walk around my city. I got a green tea latte, I believe, and I was walking around the park for hours. And just kind of mulling over and letting like this situation kind of pass, accept it. You know, I wasn't in denial. It's just like, hey, all right, we're going to have to change some things. And then I kind of sat down, I made a list of like, all right, what can we do? How can we make the most of the situation? You obviously like embrace it, take a second, take a breather, do what you need to do to feel good, and then don't procrastinate, start planning your next move. And know that, hey, one door closes, another one opens. Stay positive. You gotta feel like life's a healthy stock chart. That's how I believe. Like, nobody has this like success, or if they do, I think it's bullshit personally, and I'm sorry I'm cussing, but it's like people who say like, I did this in this amount of time. It's like, it's more of a wave, right? Somebody told me like life is like a healthy stock chart. You're still gonna be way better. This is where you're going, but you're gonna get some success, and then there's like, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's kind of how it always goes, okay? If you get great success instantly, that's awesome. I'm just saying that sometimes this is a part of natural evolution of life, and you need those challenges so you can focus, reassess, and just know that things are going to get better. It's going to get better. The worst is that first like kind of a couple hours when this happens. I get it. So stay positive. Know that something better is around the corner. Sorry if I sound like a motivational speaker, but this is sometimes things that I have to tell myself, you know, especially when I hit that circumstance. Anyway, number 6, reassess and reflect. I think that this is a great opportunity for anybody to reassess, reflect on where they are. Okay? Know about what career is actually best for you. Ideally, you're focusing on a career that you love to do, but to be honest, you're also kind of naturally gifted in that area. Those are the people that really go far. And I've mentioned this in cybersecurity. People that I know that do really well at cybersecurity, like really well, they love it. They love it, love it, love it, and they naturally have this very strong analytical mind, operations mindset, strategic mindset that kind of just goes hand in hand with their personality. So really reassess. And I would reassess all areas of your life. You know, maybe that last job was taking up 80-hour work week and you had no time for relationships or your health, which honestly I prioritize a lot more than career and money. But reassess other areas. Look at your financial area, look at your health area, look at relationships, you know, what's working, what's not working, what can you get better at in your careers. You know, was that really serving you? Is that really where you want to go? If, like, how can I, like, really do a better job of networking that we mentioned? Or getting better at kind of the skills or getting new skills, really reassess and reflect. And I really do this about once a quarter, like for a strong one, like for a few hours. I would say once a quarter for like 2 or 3 hours, I really sit down and I assess the whole board. Like, how we doing? Are we happy? Are we enjoying this? Is this making sense? What can we get better at? What areas can we have marginal gains? So really reassess and reflect, and I think this is a great opportunity. And number 7, practice your interview skills, okay? Practice your interview skills big time. This is a big thing that doesn't get, I don't know why it doesn't get discussed more, but your interviewing skills is your first impression in showcasing and demonstrating your talents to the other company, right? For me, it's very similar to how sales work. And there's a few things that you want to do because you're selling yourself so that, and the way you win is getting a job offer. And then you really win is obviously making making this a win-win relationship and an asset. But practice your interviewing skills. Again, check out, you know, my free resources. You know, you definitely want to do this. I do help certain clients in this regard. A lot of times we've had a lot of people from YouTube find me, or just from LinkedIn, honestly. And then they'll ask for this whole thing. And I'll look at your resume, I'll look at your cover letter, your LinkedIn. We'll do a mock interview, which is priceless because I'm going to give you, I've done tens of thousands of interviews, guys, and I've seen over 100,000 resumes, and I'm going to give you good feedback on what you can point out, what you can get better at, so that you can be ready to when, hey, that opportunity actually comes along. So usually people book with me, and we do about an hour. We do a mock interview. I also give you career strategy, some strategy on what to do, some best methods. I give you some templates and scripts and key tips that I basically never share. Okay, I hold those a little bit close to home. I never share them. And I've never seen it on any other person's channel, by the way. But in those sessions, I give you some good tips that only you can use and will really double the amount of job offers you get. Okay. I also give you my premium resume, by the way. Premium resume is my resume. It's the resume that I use when I go job hunting. I spent time, man, crafting that resume and using some of the best. So something to consider is practice your interviewing skills. Okay. Practice that. Do some run-throughs. Do some run-throughs on paper, in your mind, on what to say on certain things that the potential interviewer is going to be asking you. And be prepared. That's all it is. Be prepared. Okay, so going over the 7 again: strong network, in-demand skills, having a strong resume, know your area, stay positive, reassess and reflect, and practice your interviewing skills. Okay? So I'll go ahead and stop right there on this segment. So let's talk a little bit about kind of like, how did I find a job or a new job offer in 3 days? So I'll run you guys a little bit of the scenario on what happened. We were growing this company and everything was going good. We hit a bit of a plateau, and then I guess they just decided to cut kind of the top people and the bottom people, right? Keep the middle, keep the meat. Unfortunately, I was part of that top group. So it wasn't just me. It was me and a few other people. We all got laid off. And it really sucked. When that happened, I was stunned. I was floored. I didn't know, I didn't see it coming. There was definitely a sense in the air, like the CEO had called me, I think a few hours before, just the way he was talking and a little bit more disconnected. It felt a little off, and something definitely told me something was up. But anyway, once that happened, I did all this stuff. I took a deep breath, counted backwards from 10, I walked out, and I just spent a day, half a day kind of just walking around my town. I walked around the town, I went to the library, I was looking at a few books, I walked around the park, got a latte, and was just enjoying the summer air. Okay, everybody processes this differently. I say get out of the house. If wherever you are, get out, do something different, change the routine. If you're gonna go to the beach, I like nature personally, so go to the beach, do something, or do something that you just enjoy. Something that's gonna allow you to hey, I gotta process this, I need a second to myself. Second thing that happened was exactly how I just described. I started planning. I said, how can I make the most of the situation? And I wrote down the 10 to 30 top network people I have, people that I've worked with, who I trained, or who knew me very, very well, who would definitely give me a recommendation, have no problem. I can easily call them up. I feel no intimidation whatsoever, right? That was the first step. Okay, I'm going to write down 10 to 30 people in my network that I know got my back. And I'm sure down the road, I'm happy to repay them, okay? So there's that part. I also did a skill set audit. I talked about here's all the skills I have. Here's all my tech skills. Here's all my soft skills. Here's all the, and network is also an asset too. Here's all the things that I can. And then I started looking at, okay, what are some of the things in the market that I'm not aware of? Certain tools that have been coming out, skill sets that might be in demand in the next 2 years. I looked at, definitely in my area, different people, who can I actually network that are maybe the heads of these up and coming companies, or people putting on these, networking events. I started writing down all this stuff, exactly what I just outlined, excuse me. And I wrote it all down, and then, I started connecting. I started taking action that exact day. I started texting certain friends and colleagues, hey, hope all is well, everything's going good. And I kind of let them know, like, hey, something happened. I'm actually back on the job market right now. If you have any leads or any ideas of any companies or spaces that could benefit from somebody from my skills, keep me updated. And some of them said, great, right? 2 of them actually reached out like, hey, have you thought about joining our company? That's the power of a strong network. So one person actually reached out and we had a great conversation, and they said, hey, yeah, like, I think our company's hiring in that area. If you want, I can forward your resume to our hiring manager. I'm like, that's great. I really appreciate that. And obviously, if it doesn't work out, no worries. I really just appreciate you taking the time. Very just open-ended and you gotta sometimes let go of the outcome. Like, I'm not banking on it. It's like, if it happens, great. But it doesn't mean I'm resting. It also means I'm going to continue to do this. So the first thing was the network. The second thing, if this didn't happen, by the way, I would have gone to the job boards and done the parachute method that I've talked about on other videos that I've done through the last couple years. But, so that would be the first thing. It was actually my brother's wedding, funny enough. So I went down to San Diego, and there was a person who I had done freelancing work with over a few years. And basically I just called him up. He was another what I call somebody in my network who knew about my abilities, and also I think would be a strong person who probably knows a lot of people. And I just offered hey man, I'm in town. I'd love to grab coffee. Love to grab coffee and catch up for an hour if you got some time. He agreed. We met up. By the way, and the sense was I wasn't trying to get anything. It was really my intention was just hey, I just want to see a friend, say hi, and maybe develop a better network that way, a stronger relationship. Not being the end goal's a job. It's really just developing the network. Anyway, we were kind of talking. He was telling me about his situation and the companies he's working with, and I told him a little bit about hey, I'm on the market right now. If you ever need anybody, as well as if you know anybody who can benefit, I'd be open ears. That's when he's like, dude, you want to join our company? Talked to his people. They gave me an offer the next day, and it was for the exact same amount I had just had at the previous company. So this is why I kind of emphasize these are steps that you can take to kind of start getting that momentum. If that stuff hadn't happened within a 3-day window, I wouldn't have been upset. I would have kept going. And if you have think about it, you have a great amount of time. If you get laid off, obviously be aware of your benefits, look at unemployment options, look at other methods if you need to do revenue quickly. But I think following these methods will get you in a good position. A little side note, I would recommend that a great way to start fresh, right? So take that half day, take off, okay? When you're doing your job hunting, structure your day so you're working it kind of part-time to 30 hours a week. I think that gives you a great amount where it's you're being productive, you're maximizing your efforts. You're also kind of reviewing your skills, you're doing mock interviews and stuff like that. And then but you're not killing yourself, okay? So it should be a fun experience. And I feel 30 hours is a sweet spot. So after this, make sure that if you get a job, right, even if they know that you're laid off, don't try to start right away. If you really need the money, totally, I get it, and I would do that. Start right away. Or if they're requesting, start right away. If you can, start with a 1-week advancement. Okay? Start with 1 week out and take a break. That's when it's hey, I got a job, sign the offer, they've accepted it, we have the start date, we got everything in line. Take a few days, at least 3 or 4, where that's when you do the mini vacation or a staycation at home. You take a break, you refresh, and you start strong at your new job. Okay? That's what I would recommend. Otherwise, and I've done that before, where you're burnt out from that job and then you're going right into it, but you're excited. It's very easy to burn out in modern day. So just be aware of those things. So the 2 bonus tips, talked about at the end. 2 bonus tips. So I talked about networking in your local area. So the bonus tip is basically look on LinkedIn. Look on LinkedIn in your local area on certain people, and the best companies that are going to be hiring, are going to be usually companies between the 50 to 200 range. Okay? If you look at companies that are up and coming, and you look at the local people, you look at the CEOs, look at the hiring managers, and start connecting with them, and you're just reaching out as a connection, and then try to get them for coffee if you can, or stop by. By the way, don't make it hard for them. Know where the coffee shop is next to their building or something, so they can take a break. It's not a huge time investment on them, but this is an easy way where you can start building your network, okay? The second thing is, a lot of people underestimate career fairs. I would go to career fairs, and I've talked about this on other things. Check out the other video I made on career fairs themselves. Go to career fairs, because those people are hiring. And by the way, I've gotten jobs from career fairs totally unrelated, but I was able to sell my skills to the person hiring that, like, hey, I know you're looking for engineers, but this is my area. Like, I don't know if you ever need anybody. And I've done that way. It's a great area where you can practice your pitch. You can do a massive amount of interviews right away. And you also just see what companies are currently hiring, what companies are growing. You get to hear how they're pitching themselves. And also it's a great way to build a network, okay? Great network, and just follow up and keep that keep that relationship. And they always talk about it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's very, very true. A lot of ways, okay? So again, feel free to check out some of the resources in the description below. Hope this was helpful. If it was helpful, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, there's a lot of people that they don't know about this, and it's that's kind of helps the algorithm. I consider it as, like, after spending a half hour kind of giving you guys a lot of stuff that took me decades to learn. I hope this has been helpful for you. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. If you want to send me your resume, I'll take a quick look at it and give you some tips in response. If you like to book for a mock interview and a full hour consulting session, feel free to reach out as well, and I'll give you a 25% discount as well too. All right, guys. Hope that was helpful. I got 6 more weeks till the wedding. Woo! Okay. Very exciting. And I got my half Ironman this weekend too, so I got to train for that. Anyway, take care. Hope everyone's well. Be safe.